Hey everybody, coming up on this hour of San Antonio Living, when you talk politics at home with your family and at work, does it usually turn ugly? Well, we have brought in our etiquette expert, Diane Gottsman, to tell us how to keep it friendly during this political season. We've got details on that in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Diane Gottsman is our etiquette expert, and this morning we're talking about something that's extremely relative. How do you deal with the debates and the presidential election amongst, you know, coworkers and friends without overstepping your bounds?
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't go any place without wanting to talk about it. Just like last night,
right.
The debate. So I walked into my office this morning, and guess what they're talking about? But I said, because it's the truth, I said I was working. I was working last night, so I really couldn't jump in. But what do you do when people start getting angry? And, you know, so I say our first tip is at the office and elsewhere at the dinner table, keep your conversation conversational instead of controversial.
Okay, now let's talk about my husband real quick, because he can't do that. He's a passionate young man. So if you can't remain friendly, you just don't. You don't. Excuse yourself.
Okay.
Run.
And for you, because you're sitting next to him and kicking him does
under
not
the table,
help.
yes. He just goes, ow.
You need to talk about it beforehand and say, listen, we're going to go to this party. They don't know us very well. And
have an escape plan.
Please, for me, keep it conversational.
Right.
Don't get your blood pressure up. So talk about it in advance, because, you know, you have to look around the room. And if everybody has left you and you're still talking and you've got a red face, then that's telling you something.
Yes.
They don't want to be with you anymore.
Assess the situation. See how people respond. In my case, sometimes they just run, or they're so overwhelmed by the passion, they're like,
I have to know, what do you do when this is going on? What do you do?
I go like this.
Yeah, okay.
Because it happens. It's real funny. We have a mixed family when it comes to political views, but the husband likes to come right out and chat it out with everyone. So, funny story, my mom sent me a text when she was coming to town. She's like, tell Travis, I don't want to talk about politics while I'm there. Like, she sent out the precursor.
There's always that family member. It's my mother. Yeah. Okay, and you know, it's even worse when it's your mother, because you don't want to hurt your mom.
Right.
So you can hurt your husband. You know, you can't hurt your mom. So that's true. You know, just warn them in advance.
Okay.
What they do is what they do. They're adults, but at least we've said our piece.
Okay. Another thing you say is make sure we stay away from topics like religion, money, sex, divorce, all that good stuff, off the limit.
Well, it's all a bad combination. But, you know, in this particular, you know, the debate is the sex, politics, religion, and, you know, it's all the controversial things. So stay away from the added problems of religion and everything else that goes along with it.
So what if you get to a point where you find two passionate people who are having a passionate discussion about the debates, but then you get to the point where you're like, man, I got to step back. How do you remove yourself from the conversation?
We're going to agree to disagree on this. Or if you're at work, you know what? I need to put all of this energy into that project that's due at the end of the day. So I'm taking a pass. Right. So you just have to stop. You have to get out. Jump out of the conversation.
Okay, let's talk about bringing paraphernalia to work.
Oh my gosh, don't tell me Travis does this too.
Well, I'm not going to say we have a sign in our yard or anything like that. But what, you know, how do you keep that
stickers?
Stuff? Yes.
Don't put them on your car. You know, unless you want to get keyed. Buttons. Don't have a framed picture of a candidate or some kind of political figure in your office, because then they know where you stand. And you know, you don't want to insult your boss or your clients or your colleagues.
True. You know, it used to be that, you know, things have really changed over the last couple of years with people and social media and things like that. That it used to be, this was off limits at work. We do not talk politics. We do not talk religion. We don't talk about any of that. But it's become so mainstream because of social media that we just have to figure out how to work it in respectfully.
And be careful with social media. Don't air all your grievances on social media.
Oh, yes.
It's going to happen. We just have to do it gracefully with polish, respect, and respect that other person.
I was driving around town the other day, and, you know, we talked about the signs and things like that. I was in a neighborhood, and it cracked me up because house after house after house had some sort of political sign, you know, favoring a certain candidate. And I was like, Man,
it's my house.
These people are asking for it, you know?
My husband lets everybody put their signs on the yard. I drive up after work and I pull them all out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, you know, when there's differences in the house, and we vote differently as well. So, you know, we've got all kinds of issues going on. You know, it's just, I don't like signs in front of the house.
You want to keep it clean out there.
Keep it clean.
Yes, I know.
I want my pumpkins to show.
Now, how do you deal with that kind of situation when it's your significant other? When you're dealing with a political situation at home where one of you is one side of the coin and the other is the other side of the coin, can you still have intelligent conversation about the political race?
Absolutely, as long as you're not screaming and hollering.
Right.
You know, as long as you are keeping, and you know, that said, people scream and holler.
Right.
You know, as long as you are respectful, as long as you agree to disagree, you know, everybody should have their own opinion, and you should respect that other person's opinion.
And what about the kids? How do we deal with the political situation and our kids?
They should watch television. They should watch the debate.
Okay.
They should read. They should make their own minds up. Allow them the ability to make their own decisions. Even if they can't vote, it's the smart thing to do.
Absolutely. It's a great conversation. Just keep it safe. That's it when you're at work. Thank you, Diane. Always good to see you. Diane Gottsman is our etiquette expert. She helps us get through all sorts of tough situations. Maybe you need to come to my house.
I don't think I want to.
PSOTX.com is the website. You can also find her, DianeGottsman.com. Or if you've got questions, give her a call at 826-7400.